Nick and I knew that one of the biggest bottlenecks in growing this company would be finding great people. And when you're hiring people, you're looking really more for character, because we believe that you can teach the skill, but you can't teach the attitude and the character, right? The whole idea of Bootcamp was that we needed a better way to get new team members up to speed.
There's a lot of benefits to it, right? So like it helps the individual trainees that we bring in, like it gives them confidence when we send them out on the jobs, because a lot of them have no prior experience whatsoever, right? The leaders that we send the helpers with, it takes quite a bit of pressure off of them because they don't have to worry about teaching, the basic skills, things like that. Usually I'll start with sort of general construction skills, like this is how you use a drill, this is how you use a saw, like we work through basic tools, and then eventually we kind of incrementally work our way up until we get to the point that we're putting in equipment, running wiring, line sets, things like that. They make all the mistakes in here under like a controlled environment that doesn't end up putting those mistakes in customers' homes, right?
What we've done is that we've built a house, and we've also built like a cross-sectional of a house, in that we can train them on very specific skills that are focused to what they're delivering to the customer out in the field. One of the biggest things is like, we can stop that like deer in the headlights look when they're out there working away. They don't know, like, oh no, what do I do here? They can come back, practice here a couple times, and ask those questions that like, maybe are not appropriate on site, but we can do it in-house in a controlled environment and kind of learn from there.
Feedback from the leaders, just the general quality that people are putting out relative to the amount of experience that they have, like it's been working great.
You talk to the journeymen, the guys they're working with, you talk to their leaders, and it's never been better. Let's put it that way.
When you hire someone, you have no idea. They can tell you, I have all this skill and I can do all these sort of things. I'm the hardest worker you'll ever see. But how do you know until you actually see it yourself? Like knowing what kind of employee you have, where they're lacking or excelling in their skills, and what we can do to improve so that we're all delivering the same experience to the customer.
Expense has never been something that we've shied away from, because we know that it takes investment to see growth. We go through materials, time, labor, wages. There's definitely an investment to it. It's said here that every field technician gets 250 hours of training a year here. It's a large upfront cost, but it pays off in the long term, much like any investment, right? You spend the money up front and it will return to you down the road, because you're doing the right thing.
We're working on getting some live units going for the service guys to come in here and do some, diagnostic training, things like that. We can put units that we know of problems in, power them, actually have live units running. That'll be the next step probably. We've got the sheet metal shop that we're starting to set up right over there. Things are constantly evolving. We're just kind of adapting as we go. We're seeing what works, what doesn't, and we just kind of go from there.
When I think of the future, I think of something called Handy Bros U. And I'd want to, build a building beside our warehouse here, where a large portion of it would be dedicated to training. We would kind of want to offer it as a free 3-month boot camp. Someone joins this 3-month boot camp, they're not hired. We run them through the training. If they prove to be capable people with the character that we're looking for, then they actually get hired on, right? And if they prove to be people that, they're just okay, well then they got a 3-month boot camp and they move on. We want to hire the best. So that's why we would want to use it as like a hiring tool, basically, to kind of really pick out the superb people.
This is how we evolve, and this is how we deliver the best to our customer.